Imagine waking up tomorrow with a completely different mindset. What if you could shift the way you talk to yourself every day, and in doing so, transform the trajectory of your life? What if I told you that the secret to unlocking your fullest potential lies not in what you do, but in how you think? You see, your thoughts are powerful. They shape your reality, your actions, and ultimately, your destiny. The words you say to yourself in the quiet moments, the stories you tell yourself about your abilities, and the beliefs you hold about your worth all have the power to either limit or elevate you. Today, we're going to explore just how powerful that self-talk can be and how, with a conscious shift, you can turn your thoughts into the foundation for success, happiness, and fulfillment. We all have an internal dialogue that constantly runs in the background of our minds. This self-talk is the voice that comments on everything we do, from the moment we wake up to when we finally drift to sleep. It tells us whether we're good enough, whether we'll succeed, and sometimes, whether we're worth the dreams we have. But here's the thing, most of us don't realize the profound impact this voice has on our lives. The truth is, that voice, that constant stream of thoughts, is shaping your reality in ways you may never have considered. Have you ever caught yourself saying things like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed"? These kinds of thoughts are not just harmless musings. They're powerful statements that, over time, become your reality. On the other hand, when you say things like, "I am capable," or "I can handle whatever comes my way," you're planting seeds of confidence and possibility in your subconscious mind. Those seeds begin to grow, and before you know it, you start acting in alignment with those empowering thoughts. Think about the last time you achieved something significant. Maybe it was a promotion at work, running a marathon, or simply completing a difficult task. I bet at some point you had to believe that you could do it. You had to tell yourself that you were capable, even if you had doubts. That belief is the power of self-talk in action. You were the one who empowered yourself with the thought that you could achieve it, and that thought transformed into action. Self-talk doesn't just stay as fleeting thoughts in your mind. Over time, these thoughts morph into beliefs. And once something becomes a belief, it's almost like a rule in your mind that dictates how you perceive yourself and the world around you. Beliefs are the lenses through which you view reality. They are the foundation upon which your actions are built. And the most powerful beliefs you will ever have are the ones that come from within you, your own self-talk. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never succeed, or that you're always going to fail, then your belief system will be rooted in limitation. On the other hand, if you tell yourself that you are deserving of success, that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, and that you have everything you need to thrive, your belief system will be rooted in possibility. The way you talk to yourself will dictate how you show up in life and how you respond to challenges. Consider this. When you're faced with a setback, your self-talk will either encourage you to rise above it or convince you to give up. Someone who believes in their own strength might say, "This is tough, but I can handle it." Someone who has negative self-talk might say, "I can't do this. I'm just not good enough." The belief formed by your self-talk determines how you'll react, and that reaction will, in turn, shape the outcome. We all have a tendency to fall into patterns of negative self-talk, especially when we're facing adversity. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of self-doubt when things aren't going the way we want them to. But here's the truth. Just because negative thoughts come up doesn't mean you have to accept them as reality. You have the power to shift your self-talk. And when you shift your internal dialogue, you shift your life. The first step in shifting your self-talk is awareness. Start paying attention to the words you use when you talk to yourself. Are they kind? Are they encouraging? Or are they harsh and critical? Take note of how often you speak to yourself in ways that you wouldn't dream of speaking to someone else. The language you use with yourself matters. Once you become aware of your self-talk, the next step is to challenge it. When a negative thought arises, pause and ask yourself, is this really true? Is this thought helping me or hurting me? Challenge those beliefs that limit you. Replace them with thoughts that empower you. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," replace it with, "I am more than enough. I am learning, I am growing, and I am capable." You might be wondering, why is self-talk so powerful? Well, science has some fascinating answers. Our brains are wired to reinforce whatever we focus on. When we think certain thoughts repeatedly, our brains form neural pathways that make it easier for us to think those thoughts again in the future. This means that the more you focus on negative thoughts, the stronger those neural pathways become. Conversely, when you focus on positive, empowering thoughts, you're strengthening the neural pathways that support confidence, belief, and success. This is why changing your self-talk is so critical. By consistently focusing on positive self-talk, you're literally rewiring your brain to be more aligned with your goals, your potential, and your dreams. It's not just wishful thinking. Your brain is capable of adapting to new patterns of thought, and in doing so, it can transform the way you approach challenges and opportunities. Changing your self-talk doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort, it becomes a part of who you are. Here are a few daily practices that will help you strengthen positive self-talk and shift your mindset for good. Start your day with affirmations that support your goals and dreams. Speak them aloud as if they are already true. For example, I am worthy of success. I have the power to create the life I want. Or, every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Practice gratitude daily. When you focus on what's going right in your life, you automatically shift your self-talk from scarcity to abundance. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing your success. Imagine yourself achieving your goals, feeling confident, and overcoming obstacles. As you visualize, speak positively to yourself about the process. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, ask yourself, what's the opposite of this thought? Replace the negative thought with something empowering. The people and media you consume can influence your self-talk. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. Choose media that reinforces positivity and personal growth. When you change your self-talk, the benefits don't just stop at you. Positive self-talk has a ripple effect. It affects your relationships, your work, and how you show up in the world. When you believe in yourself and speak kindly to yourself, you become a magnet for positivity. Your confidence shines, and people around you start to notice the shift. You'll attract opportunities that align with your beliefs, and you'll find yourself taking bold actions toward your dreams. In fact, one of the most beautiful things about positive self-talk is that it's contagious. The more you practice it, the more others will be inspired to do the same. By empowering yourself through your thoughts, you empower everyone around you. Your thoughts have the power to shape your life. The way you speak to yourself matters more than you realize. Every day, you have the opportunity to choose your thoughts, to challenge the ones that limit you, and to embrace those that empower you. It's time to stop letting negative self-talk dictate your future. It's time to take control of your internal dialogue and start speaking to yourself like the confident, capable person you are. Remember, your thoughts are not just words, they are the foundation of your actions and the building blocks of your reality. So, what will you choose to believe? What will you choose to tell yourself today? Start today. Shift your self-talk and watch your life begin to transform in ways you never thought possible. Your mind is a powerful tool. It's time to use it to create the life you deserve. To fully understand how powerful self-talk is and how it shapes our lives, we must first acknowledge that our beliefs stem from the narratives we tell ourselves. These beliefs are not formed overnight, but are instead cultivated over time through repetition, experiences, and the environment we interact with. Our self-talk is like the foundation of a house. If it is unstable or negative, it will affect everything that gets built on top of it. However, if our self-talk is empowering and supportive, it can help us build something sturdy and meaningful. When you change your self-talk, you essentially change the beliefs you hold about yourself, the world around you, and what you are capable of. This transformation doesn't happen all at once, but with conscious effort, you begin to rewrite the stories you've believed about your limitations. For example, if you're facing a difficult situation at work, your self-talk might initially tell you that you're not good enough for the job. However, with empowering self-talk, you can shift that thought to something like, "This situation is challenging, but it's an opportunity for me to learn and grow. I am capable of handling this." This small but significant shift in how you view challenges allows you to act from a place of strength rather than fear. Over time, as you continue to practice positive self-talk and reinforce empowering beliefs, you will notice a shift not only in your internal world, but also in your external world. You will begin to see new opportunities, feel more confident in your decisions, and attract people and situations that align with your new beliefs. When your self-talk is grounded in positivity, you stop seeing the world as a place of limitations and start seeing it as a realm of endless possibilities. The journey to transforming your self-talk and beliefs is ongoing, but it's worth it. It's worth it because the way you talk to yourself has the power to unlock doors you never thought possible. Your thoughts are not just fleeting moments of mind chatter, they are the seeds from which your future grows. So, every time you speak to yourself, choose words that nurture growth, encourage belief, and inspire action. The more you do, the stronger your new beliefs will become, and the more you will step into your power. In the end, your beliefs shape your identity, and your identity shapes your destiny. If you want to change your destiny, you must start by changing the beliefs you hold about yourself. And to change those beliefs, you must begin with your self-talk. The power to transform your life is in your hands, and it all starts with the words you choose to speak to yourself. When you believe in your worth and your abilities, there's nothing that can stand in your way. The only limits are the ones you place on yourself, and you have the power to remove those limits by changing the way you talk to yourself. The concept of taking responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering shifts you can make in your journey toward personal growth. In a world filled with endless distractions, external pressures, and constant influences, it's easy to believe that life happens to us like we're merely passengers on a journey controlled by forces outside our control. But here's the truth. You are the driver of your own life. The moment you recognize this, everything changes. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at a crossroads in life. One path leads you to passivity, where you believe that circumstances dictate your outcomes, and you are constantly at the mercy of the things that happen to you. The other path, however, leads you to a place of ownership, where you take full responsibility for the decisions you make, the way you respond to challenges, and the direction your life is headed. The question is, which path will you choose? The truth is that we often look outward for someone or something to blame when things don't go our way. We point fingers at the economy, the people around us, or even our past. But here's the harsh but liberating truth. No one but you is responsible for where you are right now. You are not defined by your past mistakes, the opinions of others, or the difficult circumstances that may have once seemed insurmountable. You are in charge of your future. Taking responsibility for your life doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that has happened. It doesn't mean you should feel guilty about things that were beyond your control. Instead, it means recognizing that you have the power to choose how you respond, how you grow, and how you move forward from this moment on. Life may throw curveballs, but you decide whether they will knock you down or fuel your determination to rise. The key to taking responsibility is shifting your mindset from victimhood to empowerment. When you embrace responsibility, you are no longer passive in your own life. Instead, you become an active creator, constantly shaping your future through the choices you make. Instead of waiting for something or someone to change, you realize that the power to transform your life is already within you. You may be wondering, but what if I don't have control over everything? That's a valid point. Of course, there are circumstances outside of our control, things like the actions of others, the economy, or even the weather. But here's the game changer. You always have control over how you respond. Life will never be perfect, but how you handle the challenges that come your way is what makes all the difference. Responsibility means owning your reactions, your mindset, and the decisions you make in response to the ups and downs of life. The next time something goes wrong in your life, ask yourself, how can I respond to this in a way that helps me grow? How can I make the best of this situation? Instead of dwelling on the problem, shift your focus toward the solution. Focus on what you can. Control your actions, your mindset, and your choices. That's where your power lies. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has faced challenges. Every person who has achieved greatness has experienced failure, doubt, and obstacles. What sets them apart is how they responded. They didn't let external circumstances define them. They took responsibility for their actions and their outcomes. They chose to rise above the setbacks and move forward with resilience and purpose. The same is true for you. Taking responsibility is also about understanding that your success is not dependent on others. It's not about waiting for someone else to give you permission or to pave the way for you. It's about realizing that you hold the key to your success. The power to create the life you desire lies within you, and it all begins with the decisions you make in this moment. You have the ability to shape your reality by owning your actions and your mindset. One of the most powerful ways to take responsibility is by setting clear goals and taking consistent action toward them. When you set goals, you are taking responsibility for your future. You are saying, I am in control of my destiny, and I am willing to do the work to get there. Success doesn't happen overnight. It happens through small, deliberate steps that you take every day. The more responsibility you take for your own growth and development, the more you will see the fruits of your labor in your life. But taking responsibility also means letting go of the excuses. It's easy to say, I don't have enough time, or I wasn't given the right opportunities. These are excuses that keep you stuck in a cycle of inaction and frustration. When you take responsibility, you stop making excuses and start finding solutions. You begin to see that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, and that you have the power to overcome anything that stands in your way. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you have to do everything on your own. It means acknowledging your role in your journey and seeking help or guidance when needed. Whether it's asking for support from a mentor, seeking knowledge from books, or learning from your mistakes, taking responsibility is about being proactive in your growth and development. It's about taking ownership of your learning process and being open to new experiences that will propel you forward. Now, think about this. How would your life change if you fully embraced responsibility for your future? Imagine a life where you no longer blame others for your circumstances, where you no longer wait for things to change but take action to create the change you desire. When you take full responsibility for your life, you become unstoppable. You take charge of your destiny, and suddenly, no goal seems out of reach. You realize that you are not a passive observer of your life, but an active participant in its creation. It's time to stop waiting for someone or something to give you permission to succeed. Take responsibility for your life today and start making the choices that will shape your future. The power to change your life has always been in your hands. You just have to take it. By embracing responsibility, you are empowering yourself to create the life you deserve. You are stepping into your full potential and leaving behind the limitations of the past. So ask yourself, what will I do today to take responsibility for my future? Your answer will determine not only where you go from here, but who you become along the way. The journey is yours to create, and it all starts with the decision to take responsibility for your life. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, the horizon stretching out before you, full of infinite possibilities. But here's the twist. What if I told you that the only thing holding you back from diving into that ocean and exploring what lies beyond the surface is one simple, yet powerful thing: your belief in yourself. Self-belief is the foundation upon which all great achievements are built. It's the silent force that drives you forward when everything seems impossible. The inner voice that pushes you to take the leap even when the ground beneath your feet feels shaky. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. And if you don't have faith in your abilities, you will always remain confined to the shores of doubt, watching others set sail toward their dreams while you wonder, what if? But here's the real power of self-belief. It's not just about feeling confident or thinking positively. It's about trusting in your own capabilities, even when the world around you tells you otherwise. It's about knowing deep down that you are enough, that you have everything you need inside of you to achieve what you set out to do. And most importantly, it's about the courage to take action, even in the face of fear or uncertainty. Self-belief isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate. It starts with small, consistent actions that reinforce your inner conviction. Each time you face a challenge and push through it, no matter how small, you build your belief in yourself. Each step, no matter how insignificant it may seem, is a testament to your strength and your ability to overcome whatever life throws at you. Consider this. Think back to a time when you accomplished something you once thought was impossible. Maybe it was graduating from school, landing your first job, or even overcoming a personal fear. When you look back, it wasn't just your skills or talents that helped you succeed, it was your belief that you could. Your belief created the momentum. The moment you decided to believe in your ability to succeed, you shifted the course of your life. But here's the catch. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you won't face setbacks or failures along the way. In fact, the more you push toward your goals, the more likely you are to encounter challenges that will test your strength and resilience. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of failure. It's the belief that failure is just a stepping stone to success. When you believe in yourself, you understand that setbacks aren't permanent. They are part of the journey, and they provide valuable lessons that help you grow stronger, wiser, and more equipped for the future. Every time you pick yourself up after falling, you reinforce your self-belief, proving to yourself that you are capable of overcoming anything. The power of self-belief is transformative. It turns obstacles into opportunities and failure into fuel. It helps you see challenges not as roadblocks but as temporary detours that will eventually lead you to the success you seek. And most importantly, it gives you the courage to keep going when everyone else around you is doubting you, even when you're doubting yourself. Think about it. What would you attempt if you believed you couldn't fail? The truth is, failure is never the end. It's simply a redirection, an opportunity to learn and grow. But self-belief gives you the strength to keep moving, even when the road gets tough. It reminds you that every great accomplishment in history was once considered impossible by someone, and yet, those who believed in themselves made it happen. Let's take a moment to look at some of the most successful people in the world. Did they achieve greatness without struggle? Of course not. They faced rejection, criticism, and failure. But what set them apart wasn't their circumstances, it was their unwavering belief in their potential. They didn't let the fear of failure paralyze them. They didn't let the opinions of others dictate their worth. They kept going, step by step, because they knew that the only way to fail was to stop believing in themselves. Now, let's bring it back to you. What dreams have you been holding on to, but haven't yet dared to chase? What goals have you put on the back burner because you didn't believe you could achieve them? The truth is, every goal, every dream, every vision you have for your life is possible, but it all starts with one thing: your belief in yourself. Self-belief isn't about being perfect. It's not about having everything figured out. It's about knowing that even in the face of uncertainty, you are enough. You have the strength, the intelligence, the drive, and the resilience to pursue your dreams. The only thing standing between you and your goals is your willingness to believe that you can make them happen. So ask yourself, what's the one thing you've been holding back from because you didn't believe in your ability to succeed? What's the dream that feels just out of reach? The truth is, it's closer than you think. You are capable of achieving more than you can imagine, and it all starts with believing in yourself. Take a moment today to remind yourself of your strengths, your abilities, and your past successes. Reflect on the obstacles you've already overcome and the lessons you've learned. And most importantly, believe in the infinite potential that lies within you. You have everything you need to succeed. It all begins with your belief. Self-belief is the spark that ignites your passion and propels you toward your goals. It's the foundation of your confidence and the fuel that keeps you going when the road gets tough. When you believe in yourself, you become unstoppable. Your potential is limitless, and you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. So, take the leap, believe in yourself, and watch as the world begins to unfold in ways you never thought possible. What if I told you that your greatest setback is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of something greater? Imagine for a moment that every time you fall, you actually rise higher. Every failure, every mistake, and every challenge you face isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity to grow, evolve, and get closer to the person you're meant to become. In a world obsessed with success, it's easy to view failure as something to be avoided, hidden, or feared. We're taught to chase perfection, to reach for the highest peak without stumbling, and to measure our worth by our achievements. But what if I told you that the most successful people in the world didn't get to where they are by avoiding failure? In fact, they owe their success to the very failures they encountered along the way. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's a part of success. It's a teacher that provides lessons you can't learn from success alone. Each time you fail, you're given a chance to reassess, adapt, and come back stronger. But it's only when you learn to embrace failure that you begin to unlock your full potential. Think about the stories of people who have transformed the world. Thomas Edison, for example, failed over 1,000 times before he invented the light bulb. Imagine if he had given up after his first or 100th failure. Would we have electric light today? The same principle applies to every success story you know. Failure is not a reflection of your ability, it's a reflection of your commitment to growth. So, let's get real. What does failure really mean? It's easy to label a moment as a failure when things don't go according to plan. But failure is just a term we give to a situation when the outcome doesn't match our expectations. The truth is, failure doesn't define you. Your response to failure does. How you rise after falling, how you get back on your feet, and how you use that setback as a stepping stone is what matters. If you've ever tried to achieve something meaningful, you know it's never a straight line. There are detours, setbacks, and failures that can feel like roadblocks. But these challenges aren't there to stop you, they are the building blocks of your ultimate success. Failure helps you refine your approach, challenges your assumptions, and forces you to learn in ways success never will. Take a moment and reflect. How many times have you learned more from a failure than from a success? When you fail, you are forced to ask deeper questions, re-examine your methods, and grow in ways you wouldn't have if everything had gone according to plan. Failure gives you insight into what doesn't work, so you can figure out what does. Without it, you would remain stagnant, repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Let's think about this on a personal level. Have you ever experienced something that seemed like a failure at first, maybe a career setback, a personal struggle, or a dream that didn't work out the way you wanted? Now, look back with the wisdom you have today. Did that failure change you? Did it push you to work harder, smarter, or differently? Did it give you new tools, new insights, and new strengths you wouldn't have discovered if you had succeeded right away? Here's the key. Success without failure doesn't teach you resilience. It doesn't teach you perseverance. It doesn't teach you the value of hard work, adaptability, and the courage to keep moving forward. These lessons, though often painful, are priceless. And without them, you would never know the depth of your own potential. What separates the successful from the unsuccessful isn't the ability to avoid failure. It's the willingness to embrace it and learn from it. When you begin to see failure as a lesson rather than a setback, your entire mindset shifts. Instead of fearing failure, you start to see it as an opportunity to innovate, to grow, and to get one step closer to your goal. Think about athletes for a second. Do they stop playing the game when they miss a shot? No, they learn from their mistakes, they adjust, and they come back stronger. Every loss, every defeat, is part of the journey to becoming the best. They understand that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process. This mindset can be applied to every area of life. Whether you're building a business, pursuing a personal goal, or trying to improve yourself, failure is an inevitable part of the process. And once you accept that, the fear of failure starts to lose its grip on you. You realize that the fear is only a barrier holding you back from taking risks, from pushing your boundaries, and from truly growing. What would you do if you stopped fearing failure? What would you attempt if you knew failure wasn't the end, but just a detour? The answer is simple. You'd go further than you ever thought possible. You would take more risks, try more things, and step outside your comfort zone. And with each step, you would grow stronger, smarter, and more capable of achieving your goals. It's important to remember that failure is temporary. It doesn't define who you are, it simply tells you that the current approach isn't the right one and that you need to adapt. It's the moment of adjustment that leads to growth. The greatest breakthroughs come after the hardest struggles. Just like diamonds are created under pressure, your biggest successes often emerge after your toughest failures. So, next time you face a setback, don't shy away from it. Embrace it, learn from it, and know that it's not the failure that matters, it's your ability to rise from it and keep moving forward. Because in the end, success is not about avoiding failure. It's about how many times you get up after you fall. And every time you rise, you're one step closer to your dreams. So, step forward, take the risk, and remember, failure is just another opportunity to grow. Imagine standing at the edge of your dreams, staring at them from a distance, feeling the warm breeze of possibility on your face, but something is holding you back. The weight of doubt, the fear of failure, the uncertainty of the journey ahead. You've taken steps forward, but the road is long, and the obstacles are many. At that moment, you face a choice, to keep going, or to turn back and give up. But what if I told you that every great success story in the world is not defined by the moments of triumph, but by the countless moments of persistence when the going got tough? What if I told you that the secret to achieving your dreams is not about having the perfect plan or being the most talented person in the room, but about one simple thing: persistence?